Welcome to Blind Abilities. I'm Jeff Thompson. In this podcast, we're bringing you a rebroadcast of a podcast from the public library in Jacksonville, Florida. And that podcast, entitled Completely Booked, focuses on happenings and people in and around Jacksonville, Florida. This podcast features Patrick Lane, an Aira agent analyst and Jacksonville resident, who chats with the hosts of Completely Booked, Hurley Winkler and Jenna Hassel, about Aira, the virtual interpreter for the blind. We want to share this podcast in an effort to help publicize Completely Booked and continue to highlight the Aira services and the benefits to the blindness community. So sit back and relax and listen to Patrick Lane on Completely Booked, the new podcast sponsored by the Public Library in Jacksonville, Florida. We hope you enjoy.
Welcome back, everyone, to another episode of Completely Booked. I'm Jenna Hassel.
And I'm Hurley Winkler. On Completely Booked, we're talking about official Jacksonville Public Library business and folks in the community who are wonderful.
Yeah, with really cool stories. So buckle up, people. We got another good one today.
Yeah, we sure do.
So I got to talk to Patrick Lane recently, who is an agent analyst for Aira, and it was really, really interesting because going in, I didn't know that much about Aira, and so I was kind of learning about it as we interviewed, and it's just so interesting and a great service.
Mm-hmm. So Patrick will tell us all about how he got started with Aira, and of course what Aira is, because I'm sure everyone listening is like, "What the heck, dude? Tell us what this thing is." But quick intro, Aira is basically OnStar for blind and visually impaired folks. They wear glasses with a camera on them, so if they need help, they click a button on the app on their phone and they're connected to an agent in an instant who can see what they're looking at.
And Patrick got started with Aira because of his father, who uses the service. And Patrick's father has his own podcast called Blind Abilities, and he got to interview the CEO and creator of Aira, which is really cool because he's based out of San Diego. So I was kind of wondering how he got that interview, which is so cool. But he felt an instant connection and passion with the company and just applied almost the same day that he heard the interview with the Aira creator. That really comes through in his interview, that just the passion that he feels for this service.
Oh, yeah. And they call all of their users explorers. Isn't that the most perfect way of describing them?
Yes,
I love it.
I love that. He kept saying how much the explorers really dictate what they've been able to do and how they can push the envelope.
Right.
Yeah. So here is Patrick Lane from Aira. Patrick, thank you so much, first of all, for coming in. I know you're probably really busy. And I'm really excited about this interview, too, because I don't know that much about Aira. So I'm excited to kind of learn, too.
Well, I can't wait to tell you a little bit more about it.
So let's just go ahead and get started. So I guess before we get into the product first of Aira, I just wanted to get a little bit more information about you. So what's your background? You know, kind of where are you from? I guess where did you go to school? That kind of thing.
Yeah, I have an interesting background that eventually led me to this destination of Aira. My background, I think originally was music. Huge musician. That was a big goal of mine growing up, and playing guitar now for probably 25 to 27 years.
Wow.
I went to school locally, did most of my schooling at Florida State College. Mm-hmm. So I've been in the Jacksonville area my entire life. I've had background with education. I was in event coordinating and party planning. So I've done a lot of pretty vast things that eventually got me onto a very specific type of path with Aira.
Yeah, I was going to say, that's interesting. I can't wait to see how that kind of transitions. So what got you interested in Aira first?
Well, originally, so my father, who does a podcast locally, and it's focused on the blind community. It's called Blind Abilities. Mm-hmm. He did an interview with our CEO. His name is Suman. And after the interview, he couldn't stop raving about it. And during that interview, it had come up that they were hiring for what we call agents. The agents are the people that actually assist our explorers with their day-to-day tasks, whatever they do call in for our service for. So I originally started as an Aira agent back in August of 2016. After my father had mentioned the interview, I applied that day. I think I got hired the next day, and I haven't looked back since. So I've been on with them since August of 2016. From that point, I moved on from an agent to an agent analyst. The agent analyst role is more of a managerial type supervisor position. Mm-hmm. So I get to train all the agents. I get to do a lot with the hiring, really see their progression, and make sure that they do provide that consistent type of experience for all of our explorers as they do call in.
Cool. So it's kind of ironic that it started with a podcast.
It did, yeah.
That's cool. And so Aira is a pretty young company. It started in 2014.
Correct.
Is that right? And it started as a startup.
Absolutely.
Right? So is it growing, or where is it at now?
It is growing very quickly. We are still technically a startup company. We're not publicly traded or anything like that. But yeah, we are, as far as from day one with my experience with Aira till now, it's a completely different experience. We have different corporate partnerships. We have different promotions and programs that we've been doing. And our team has grown over in the San Diego office, which is where Aira is headquartered in La Jolla. And our team over there of all the full-time Aira employees has really made a huge leap in the different types of growth that we're doing. So we're reaching partnerships with airports and other technology companies. AT&T, for instance, who's our biggest partner. They weren't around when I first started. So since AT&T has been providing that, specialized, customized network for us, our consistency has grown, our Explorer base has grown, and day one to now is a completely different Aira experience for everybody involved.
Wow. So tell us a little bit about what Aira is and what they do.
So the basics of Aira, if people want to ask, what is a 2-minute type of pitch for Aira? Well, Aira has a group of very highly trained agents that are all over the country. They work anywhere in the country as long as they have their internet and their computer. Our explorers call in with their smart glasses, which has a camera and a lot of really rich sensors to give GPS locations, all these different things. And with the technology that the agents use, which is called the agent dashboard, they're able to see a point of view directly from the camera attached to the glasses, the smart glasses we offer, as well as GPS locations. And with that information and then their problem-solving skills and their research skills, we are able to provide assistance in a huge range of things. So the very basics of point a camera at something and tell me what I'm looking at, that is the very minimal thing that we do. But we can provide information about public transportation, turn-by-turn directions for navigation, walking through different areas, all sorts, airports, malls, outdoor types of city settings. And then we can also provide information for people that need assistance with like online types of technology, research skills, anything like that. So starting back in August to now, we've accomplished thousands and thousands of different tasks. And, our agents are so dedicated and so set on finishing all tasks that are asked of them. We've really accomplished a huge, wide variety of different types of things for our explorers.
And they say it on the website that it kind of started as an OnStar for the blind and visually impaired. And I love that because that's really what it is. You just push a button. Is that how it works on the glasses? And then you have an agent connected to you right away?
Yeah. So the couple of devices that our explorers use are their Aira smart glasses. I did bring some in case you wanted to look at them. Cool. And their hotspot device, which provides a specific network for all of our explorers based, provided by AT&T, our huge partner. And with that, they open their Aira app on their phone, they press a button, and they're connected almost instantly to an agent that's located anywhere around the country. And from then, it's up to them. Our explorers are extremely creative in what they ask of us. And since they are so creative in the uses for Aira, they've shown us what we are absolutely capable of doing. So it's much different than, can you read me this paper, or can you help me navigate through this crowded area? Now it's endless things, lots of recreational type of uses as well. So it's not just trying to accomplish a simple task. It's people getting out there and doing the things that they've always wanted to do independently. And we're providing that independence so these explorers can go out there and really explore. And that's why they are called explorers, because they are the ones that are showing us what we are capable of actually accomplishing.
That's awesome. So I've heard that there's a lot of apps that do this similar thing. What's different or special about Aira?
So one of our Aira core company values that we do preach is that our people is our product. So yes, we do have a very cool type of technology that we use, but without our agents who are very specialized and highly trained and certified, then the experience would not be unique to Aira. So people can use smart glasses for a lot of different things, and they can create these phone apps where it's almost like a FaceTime for people, specifically, BVI type of people. But with our highly trained agents, our agent dashboard that we're using, we are able to provide so much more than those other competitors out there. And that's what makes Aira different, is the agents themselves.
Yeah, the human getting to actually talk to a person. I could see that being a little more comforting than kind of relying just on the technology.
All of our agents are around for a reason. We have agents. We very rarely lose agents by their own choice. Our agents, they come on and they are absolutely dedicated. and they are 100% focused on the task at hand and accomplishing that task in the most efficient way, because Aira people do use minutes, and those minutes are valuable. So we try to accomplish every task that's asked of us in the most efficient way possible, while still providing as much information as we possibly can for the explorers to just paint a really rich picture, provide that instant access to information. And we do act as a pair of eyes and not a brain. So we just deliver the information as we see it, and we deliver that information. Our explorers are able to use their already learned skills, accomplishing these tasks independently in the past, with just a much more independent, efficient type of experience.
Right. And how do you see this technology advancing? Like, where do you think it could go in the future?
Well, we all had an idea from the start, but seeing how it's grown probably past our original ideas of where it was going to go, it's kind of open-ended. I don't think that there's ever an end for Aira. I think as technology develops more and becomes more consistent and stable, then we're going to incorporate things that some of us probably had no idea was even an option. So I do see in the future, we'll be all over the world. We'll be out there doing lots of really fantastic events. We've already had people that have run marathons with Aira, and they've gone on amazing vacations, and we all get to live vicariously through them. So I think the end with Aira is going to be a much bigger type of thing than any of us had originally expected in the beginning, because it is growing exponentially, and the success that we've experienced, we know that it's here to stay, and we're all very, very dedicated to making every single thing happen. When the idea is on the table, then we all do our jobs to make sure that that becomes a reality.
Yeah, I saw that the Boston Marathon is kind of adapting or using
2 years
this.
in a row.
Wow, that's great. That's really cool. And I'm guessing as you learn stuff from the people, your explorers, you kind of add new things to what you didn't think you could do before.
Absolutely. Our explorers are the ones that do help us grow so quickly. We do have a marketing and sales team out there, but the word of mouth from our explorers that have had success with us are the ones that bring in their new explorers. They reach out to their friends and family and all of the new potential explorers out there. And by realizing that, we've also adapted to a referral type of program. So when explorers do refer people, we give each of the people, the new sign up and the explorer that referred them, a free month of service just to show them we do appreciate that. And we want that to continue and get as big as possible.
Yeah, which is probably close to $100 value, that free month.
Any 100 and then beyond, depending on what type of service and plan that our explorers are choosing to pay for.
That's cool. So how this interview kind of started was that you guys have a group here in Jacksonville called the iAccess group that meets at our South Mandarin branch library. So tell me a little bit about what that is and what you guys talk about.
Absolutely. Well, somebody that I'm very close with, Mr. Pete Lane, who's my father, the one who told me about Aira in the first place, he does run this group that is called iAccess at the South Mandarin branch. And that is specifically focused on people learning the iOS.
Okay.
So people that want to be more familiar with how to use VoiceOver and iOS more efficiently with their accessibility features turned on their phones. That's originally how it started. I've had quite a bit of experience with that iAccess group, not nearly as much as Pete, since he runs every class every other Wednesday of every month. But I've got a chance to go do demos. Pete himself takes his Aira glasses there and calls into our normal agents that anybody can call into.
Yeah.
And they get a chance to really test the service and see exactly what it's like. And then if they're interested from that point, they do contact us further. But the iAccess group is a very dedicated group. It varies in sizes. I know that they've gotten to the point where they've had so many people, they've had standing room only in their conference rooms there. But Pete is extremely dedicated to that group. He's extremely dedicated to the community as well. And now in his retirement, he's focused probably 99% of his free time on making sure that people are up to date on features that are available on iOS, things that help with their accessibility and technology as well. So he has really devoted a lot of his time to make sure that group has thrived, and they do learn a huge amount of information from him as well.
Yeah, and it's free and open to everyone. So
absolutely free, open to everybody. If anybody's interested in more information, I've gotten the permission from Pete to give his personal email address out there. If you want me to tell people the address, the email address, that is pslane7625@gmail.com. If anybody wants to email him and ask about more information about the iAccess group, he can give you times that they're meeting. It is every other Wednesday for a few-hour block, and he can give you the dates that they're meeting and maybe a possible agenda about what they're doing, and then they can go and absorb all of Pete's mass amount of knowledge for that specific type of technology that he's very much an expert on.
That's great. Yeah, I know a lot of our listeners probably would be interested in learning more about that.
Fantastic group. Yeah. Lots of consistent, repeat type of attendees, and yeah, they're very dedicated. It's got a big social aspect to it as well.
Yeah.
So there's no judgment. Ask as many questions as you want, and you will absolutely learn something for that entire group.
Cool. So tell us about how to get set up with the glasses, if anyone's interested in that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, that's the thing. It's super easy. You go to our website, aira.io. You can sign up for a plan on there. If people are interested in demos, I can provide demos at the iAccess group at the South Mandarin branch, where they can actually get a chance to put their glasses in hand, connect to one of our certified trade agents, and get a very small type of Aira experience. And from that point, they can understand what it's useful for. Our Explorers are extremely, what's the word I'm looking for? They're extremely, kind of blanking on the word here. They're just very unique in their wants and needs.
Okay. So
and
specific.
by all the very specific things that they want to accomplish, then they do give us ideas of what we are able to accomplish as well. So they are the ones that have really shown us that we can do so much more than originally had planned.
Right. Cool. So, and here's a question that we like to ask everyone when they interview with us. What did you want to be as a kid when you grew up?
I think I was always one of those people that was going to be a rock star when I grew up. I'm a big musician. I've been playing for a long time, and it's always been a huge passion of mine. I think I probably, as a kid, I was going to, be a rock star, playing on stage for hundreds of thousands of people, playing my guitar, playing all the guitar solos, and I was obsessed with Van Halen and just all those really flashy bands. But from there, I did realize when I grew up, I had a much more mature type of idea of what I wanted to do with myself. And money was never an issue. I wanted a job that I was extremely proud of, something that I wanted to wake up for and do. And all of the jobs that I had in the past, I did have success in them, but it was kind of lacking that passion that I had. And the passion for this company with Aira started from day one. It hit home knowing for the fact that my father uses the service and the type of information that I already knew that he needed by providing that just by being his son for my whole life. It did make me realize that was right up my alley. And from day one, it's just been that I am here for Aira. I've done so many things that I never expected I'd have an opportunity to do, traveling all over the country and giving presentations and getting a chance to speak with awesome podcasts like this one, for instance. So I feel like I eventually, when Aira became an option, that was the one that I had to jump on. I had to take the opportunity and take the chance and devote my entire self to it. And I haven't looked back once.
Yeah. That's awesome. You and producer Brian have that in common, probably.
Oh, yeah.
He's a big musician too, so.
We can talk about that a little bit later.
Yeah. So that's great. So it was about the passion, not necessarily the rock star lifestyle.
Absolutely. I wanted something I was proud of. And I've been proud of every single thing I've ever done with Aira from the very first second I started with the company.
That's great. Well, it's an amazing service, and it's really changing the way people are living. So
I agree. I've seen it firsthand.
Great.
I can confirm that is a thing.
That is awesome. Well, thank you so much, Patrick. Is there anything else that you wanted to share with our listeners?
If people are more interested in finding out more about Aira, do go to our website, aira.io. Get a lot of questions about what that IO means, but I think the actual definition of the IO stands for Indian Ocean, but it is a tech version of a .com.
Okay.
So it's not some weird website. The IO sounds interesting,
It's an actual website.
Aira.io. There's all the information on there. You can find out stories about the full-time employees of Aira. You can find out about the agent position, apply for the agent position. So if anybody's interested in actually becoming an Aira agent, do go apply for the job. We do like people that have experience in the community, people that have blind or visually impaired family members and friends. They seem to kind of get that idea of what it is our explorers do need and what information works for them. And it's just a really fantastic workplace. We have a lot of really fantastic core values as well. It being a tech company based out in San Diego, we do get to work for a very unique type of company. So it's easygoing, but everybody is absolutely there to work and accomplish things. There's no judgment in the workplace. I work with people that are based all over the country, tons of different personalities. And since working at this place, I've gotten the chance to meet endless amounts of really amazing, impressive people beyond our Explorer group. Our agents are fantastic. They all have their own skill set and their knowledge. And then moving forward into the future, as we do expand throughout the world, we're going to have agents that have specific skills, whether it be different languages that they speak,
right,
their own knowledge that they do provide. Music, for instance, I've had several explorers call into our service and want information about music. We have agents that are there that know lots of different things, and we can really assist in things that are outside of what people would think the basics uses of Aira are.
That's cool. Great. Well, thank you so much, Patrick. I'm really excited and glad that you got to come in and talk to us, because this is going to be awesome for our listeners, and just really appreciate all the information. So thank you.
Of course, my pleasure.
Such a cool company and such a great concept. Patrick actually brought a pair of the glasses with him and let me wear them. We actually called an agent. So Brianna, you were such a doll. Thank you for talking to us and letting us bug you during work.
Oh, and Patrick told us how he had an explorer attend the Super Bowl this year, and he got to narrate the entire game for him. And they actually broadcasted the discussion with Patrick and the explorer at the game on a webinar, so other users and people thinking about signing up could see how it worked. Like, you never know what you're going to get when you answer a call as an agent, I guess.
Yeah.
It's so cool. He also said that another agent got to narrate the opening ceremony of the Olympics too, which, wow, that must have been amazing.
Yeah, he's totally getting to live vicariously through these explorers and really improve their lives, which I think is really incredible.
Yeah, so cool.
So Patrick's father, Pete, hosts the iAccess group, which he talked about is at the South Mandarin Branch Library. And they teach the blind and visually impaired how to use the built-in voice screen reader called VoiceOver on iOS devices. And this allows blind users to navigate the flat surface of an Apple smartphone. I didn't think about this before, but visually impaired people need tactile things to feel in order to read and things like that. So having the screen be totally flat on almost every smartphone with no buttons is very hard for them to navigate. So Apple is always coming up with more accessible ways for the visually impaired to use their devices to its fullest capabilities. So that group meets at the South Mandarin Library. If you go on our jackspubliclibrary.org webpage, you can search in the bar, type in iAccess, and you'll see the next meetings. Or you can email Pete. It's pslane7625@gmail.com if you're interested in attending. Or if you want to learn more about the Aira service, you can search aira.io. And we'll also have all this information on jackspubliclibrary.org/podcast.
And to our iTunes listeners, make sure that you subscribe to our show and leave us a review, preferably a 5-star review if you feel like it.
Yeah, not required, but definitely encouraged.
Encouraged.
So thank you again for listening to the official podcast of the Jacksonville Public Library. I'm Jenna Hassel.
And I'm Hurley Winkler. This podcast is produced by Brian Thomas, a.k.a. BT, a.k.a. Producer Brian. Goodbye.
Aira. Independence like never before.
When we share
what we see through each other's eyes,
we can then begin to bridge the gap between
the limited expectations
and the realities
of blind abilities.
The realities of blind abilities.
For more podcasts with a blindness perspective, check us out on the web at www.blindabilities.com, on Twitter at blindabilities. Download our app from the App Store, blindabilities, that's 2 words, or send us an email at info@blindabilities.com. Thanks for listening.